Alright everyone, welcome to Monday's video. We're into a brand new week and a pretty big week for Celtic. I feel like I say that very often, but I think it's fair to say this is the biggest week of our season so far. On Sunday we go for the first silverware of the campaign, League Cup final, derby, etc. But the game before it is pretty important as well. UEFA Champions League action against Dinamo Zagreb tomorrow night, and it's not even really night, it's kind of evening, it's an earlier kickoff, so we don't have as long to wait. So I better get on with this. We're going to talk about that game today. Yeah, relatively routine win over Hibernian on Saturday. I thought we played a lot of really good stuff. Some of the same players we've been waxing lyrical about in recent weeks were really good again. But I think there's also a sense that maybe the performance wasn't quite at the same level of intensity as we've seen in recent weeks, and obviously the team set a very high bar. Clearly Brendan Rodgers felt the pressing was a bit off. So I think as much as everything is about as good as it has ever been as a Celtic fan, and it genuinely is at the moment if you think about it, everything's going incredibly well. It's a hell of a season so far. I think there still is a sense that, we want to see a bit of a improved performance. Are we getting incredibly greedy here? Quite possibly. But yeah, it's a big night tomorrow. By the way, I should say, match reaction yesterday, me and Stevie. If for whatever reason you've not come across that yet, please feel free to watch. Half an hour of great post-match chat there. But yeah, job done. We put the league to the side for this week at least, and we move on to tomorrow night against Dinamo Zagreb. Or is it Dinamo Zagreb? I've still not quite narrowed that down. As you know on the channel, we always, with these European games, we like to get a bit of insight, a bit of knowledge on the team that we're about to face, and this game is no different. So just a few hours ago I caught up with the legend Ižak Ante Sučić, Croatian journalist who writes for the outlet Germaniac.hr. Definitely butchered that name. You may remember him from Josip Juranovic's time at the club. He was the one that had a lot of the exclusive stories about Juranovic staying, or in the end Juranovic moving on. So I've spoken to him about Dinamo Zagreb, and just right now gauge how you're feeling and how confident you're feeling about this game. And after you hear from Ižak, expect that to be ratcheted up a few levels. I really enjoyed this chat. Enjoy it too. Hello, Ižak.
Hello, Hamish, and good to hear from you once again.
Lovely to have you on. How is Josip Juranovic doing these days?
I think that he had some problems with injury, but nowadays he's back on the field. I don't know. I hope that he will manage, even though Union Berlin is having a bit of a rough season right now. But Jura better than me right now, and I think that you know what type of a person he is, and personality-wise, that he will manage and that he will be all right.
Yeah, great player. We loved him at Celtic.
Yeah.
And hopefully he can get back and doing what he did best. Okay, you're in Croatia. Are you in Zagreb, or are you?
In Zagreb.
Yeah. So what's the mood like in Croatia ahead of this match against Celtic?
It's rainy, it's cold, it's dark, it's I don't know how to explain it. Everything is grey, And,
it's a bit like Scotland then.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, to be honest. It's really a really rough season for Dinamo, and they've been playing good, they've been playing bad. They are now having a new coach, and the last two matches in HNL, our national league, wasn't really results. The results weren't what I expected, and their game also wasn't what I expected. So they're having a lot of injury problems right now. Two players left the pitch in the last game after only 20 minutes. So right now, in front of the game against Celtic, they're having 15 or 16 players that are 100% fit, and everybody else are just in problem.
And is it important players that are injured? Some of their best players?
I would say so. I would say so because there is no Bruno Petkovic. You may remember him as well from the Qatar and World Cup. He scored against Brazil, and he is their number one player. Striker who is I don't know how to explain to guys who don't watch Petkovic plays, but he is not one of those guys who will score a lot of goals, but he will prepare everything for the other guys to score and to become what they are. If there wasn't Bruno Petkovic, you would have never seen Dani Olmo growing as he did in Dinamo Zagreb. So Petkovic is out. Torrente, new center back who came from Spain, is also out, and he played a really decent role in last few matches. They're having problems at the goal nowadays. Number one goalie is 37 years old Zagorac, and he was like a second choice for 10 years, I think. So they're having a lot of problems. And captain there as well. He left the pitch 2 days ago. He left the pitch, and when your captain is out, I don't know. I think that you know what problem that is for the team.
Yeah. So yeah, it sounds like there's real problems there. As you say, they're not playing very well at the moment.
No.
Not won in 5 matches. They've only scored 3 goals in 5 matches. So, what's the thoughts? Is this still a game that Dinamo will think they can win, or what do you think?
No, all opposite. I think that everybody in Zagreb are really, few months ago when Scotland came to Zagreb, everybody expected to win, and Croatia was a favorite in that match, and we all thought, okay, we love those guys, but we're going to win in that match. And in this game that is coming up, I think that a lot of media as well and supporters, they are not so. I don't know. They lack not only experience but also some kind of joy in front of this big match, because they think that the Celtic is a better team. They think that Celtic is a quicker team, and they're afraid because you saw what happened to Dinamo Zagreb in the Champions League when they played against much quicker team in Munich. I'm not saying that Celtic is like Bayern, but if Bayern could score 9 goals, I think that Celtic can as well, at least 3 or maybe more. I don't know.
Really?
I hope not.
Wow.
I hope not.
Wow, I'm surprised to hear that, because we're viewing Zagreb as a really difficult match, because they're having quite a good Champions League campaign, 7 points. They've won a couple of matches, so we think it's going to be a really tough match.
Yeah, but you have to understand that Petar Sučić, who is number one midfielder, and he's a box-to-box player, lovely player. He can create, he can do tackles, he can jump, he can run. He's out. Bruno Petkovic is out. Number one goalkeeper is out. Captain is out. Number one defender is out.
Wow.
They're struggling at the left back, and the right back is playing on the left side. I think that when Ralston played on the left side and the Jura played on the left side, I think that Celtic, you know what I'm talking about. It's not great, even though he is a good player. Pierre Gabriel, who is from France, he is a good player, but he's playing on his weaker side, and a lot of things are happening right now. The mood just isn't what usually is, because if you look at the HNL, Croatian National League, Dinamo is struggling. Dinamo is third, and that's not normal in Croatia. We are always. I don't want to say that we want for Dinamo to be number one, but we expect them to be number one, and they're not. And it's not that they deserve to be number one or in the head of the. They don't deserve, and then they don't play good, and that's the reason. And that's why I think a lot of people are scared, because everybody knows how quick of a team Celtic is. And as I said before, that bond between Croatia and Scotland, there really is something. And I know that a lot of people from Croatia love Celtic, love Rangers, love every other club there is, But right now, I'm 100% sure that they don't want to play this. They don't want to watch this match against Celtic. It would be much better if this match is played maybe in January. That would be better for Dinamo.
I was looking at Dinamo's other fixtures after this game, and they have Arsenal away and Milan
Good luck
at home. So I mean, they're on 7 points. They need 3 points to make the top 24. So they will be looking at this game as their best opportunity. But you're obviously saying that it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, this is their biggest opportunity, and they know that, but the momentum isn't there. And when you don't have a momentum, it's really hard to win in Champions League. When Dinamo won in Champions League 2 matches, they were playing really good, and the team was playing really good. And right now, the team isn't playing really good, and the Celtic is Celtic. Celtic will always be a big club, and when Celtic comes to your town, even though if you're Barcelona, you're not 100% sure that you're going to win. So this is the best chance for Dinamo, but I'm not so sure that Dinamo will win. I hope so. I'm from Croatia. I need to be supportive of Dinamo, but I'm not so sure.
You're concerning me. You're too positive about Celtic's chances, everyone. He's worrying me. I need to hear. Surely they must have good things. They must still have good players available. They must be. They must still be a tough game. Are they quite strong at home normally, Zagreb?
Yes, but you know that in Dinamo Zagreb, this stadium right here in Croatia's capital is shameful, and to see Croatia or Dinamo play in this type of stadium, it's embarrassing for me and embarrassing for them. And one stand, you can't go there because there was an earthquake a few years ago, and after that earthquake, you can go to that stand, and its maximum capacity right now it's 24,000, and I'm not so sure that it's going to be full. Yeah, and that's not because of the Celtic. It's because of the Dinamo and the way they're performing. The thing is, Dinamo has that experience, but Celtic has that experience as well. So that's not something that you can rely on in this match. And also, I would say that the biggest chance of Dinamo in this match is Bjelica. Nenad Bjelica, the head coach, who has a lot of experience and he knows how to play in certain types of matches. I think the Dinamo will surprise everybody and play defensively and allow Celtic to be in control, and that they will play on the counterattacks and stuff like that, and that this is the chance that they have and that they see.
Okay, that's interesting. What do people in Croatia know about the current Celtic team? Are there any players they would know? Do they watch much of Scottish football in Croatia?
You know that I know a lot of Celtic players.
Yeah, you do.
And, I do. But number one thing when somebody says Celtic right now is konnichiwa and hello in Japanese. Yeah, that's the number one thing that people say when we're talking about Celtic, and we know that you have that. I don't know how to pronounce their surname. Sorry, but that number 9 that doesn't matter.
And Maida and Hatate, yeah.
And they're great, players, and we know what Japanese players bring to the table and what kind of personality-wise they are. So that's the number one.
Did Maida score against Croatia at the World Cup? Daizen Maida?
I'm not so sure.
I think he
did. Not so sure. Sorry, but Croatia won in that match eventually on the penalties, but it was a tough match. And that's number one thing. And when you were playing against Celtic and when you're playing against any Scottish team, you know that it's going to be hard. It's going to be rough. You're going to be a lot of tackles, a lot of challenges, long balls. I think in this match is going to win a club that is more determined to win, and it's not going to be quality-wise, because quality-wise, if Celtic is 100% fit, all the players are 100% fit, and Dinamo is 100% fit, I would say the chances are 50-50. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that I'm right, but That's my opinion. But right now, and the things that are looking like right now in Zagreb, I think that Celtic is the favorite.
So just to repeat what you said earlier, how many players are injured for Dinamo Zagreb, and what positions are injured?
I really can't tell you everybody because there's a lot of them, but I will try. So number one, goalie Nevistic is doubtful.
Okay.
I'm not so sure that he will play. The key center back Torrente, who came from Spain this season, is out. Uh, hmm, give me a second. Petar Sučić, he is playing for Croatian national team, out. Ademi, team's captain, out. Bruno Petkovic, head player, starter, out. Baturina, who is a star boy, and we're all looking that Dinamo will at least have 20 million pounds for him this winter. Doubtful, because he played in last 10 minutes against Slaven Belupo in Croatian league, but he wasn't good and he didn't play good. So we're all thinking if he's going to play in this match or not. We're not so sure. Cordoba, also new signing from South America, out. Mae, who came from Ferencvaros, central defender, strong, big. He's now playing with youth team because lack of discipline. So fun times at Zagreb.
What about fun times for Celtic fans? What's Zagreb like as a city for anyone that's going over? Will they enjoy themselves?
Yeah, and few months ago when Scottish fans came here, I wrote something on Twitter. It was one of the most. It was the best thing I've seen in football for a long time. Because Scottish guy, they were from Dundee, I think. I'm not so sure. I want to say hi to them if they're watching. I'm not so sure because they said that they don't like Celtic, they don't like Rangers, they don't like big teams. They like only. I was okay, guys. Sorry. They were going out in the city. They were just in Europe with flags, and it was really nice to see them. And one really great scene was I was there when one guy from Zagreb, you can see all the tattoos and Dinamo Zagreb T-shirts and all of that, and he saw one elderly guy and his son, and he just came up to them, give them a fist bump, like "Good luck, guys," and they were like, "Oh, this is great." This is what football is, and I think that, as I said before, there is something between Scottish people and Croatian people. I think that when Celtic was in Zagreb around 10 years ago, I'm not so sure.
Yeah. Europa League.
I was also on that match, and we saw them after match. We saw a lot of Celtic fans in the city. They were drinking beers, and it was great. But and nobody, they were they were wearing the shirts of Celtic, and it was normal day for them. We gave them a few drinks and wished them good luck, and that's it. Also in that match, the key player for Dinamo Zagreb was Marko Piazza. He played terrific in that match, and he is now again in Dinamo Zagreb after 10 years. He had a struggling career. He was a star boy at the time. He played for Juventus, but injuries injuries were a big setback for him, and now he's also in Dinamo, and I think that he will play against Celtic. So I think that if he can repeat that match, it would be good for Dinamo.
Okay, so finally, a good match. You've probably already said this, but how do you think it's going to go?
If I know how it's going to go, I wouldn't be sitting here. I would be in the Bahamas because my ticket would be winning one. I would say 1-1. Okay. I'm not so sure. I think that Dinamo will find a way to score, and I think that the Celtic will also find a way to score because that's not really that hard. And if the Celtic can score against this Dinamo Zagreb, they're in big problem. But eventually, after all, I think that Dinamo, they played the 2-2 against Monaco, and Monaco was at the time when they were playing against Dinamo, they were first in the Ligue 1. So
Okay.
I think that final result will be 1-1 or 0-0, something like that, a draw, friendly draw.
So yeah, I really enjoyed Ižak talking up Celtic's chances throughout that interview and really pointing out that Zagreb are not in a good place for a number of reasons. And then me asking him a prediction and I'm saying 1-1. I thought that was kind of amusing. 1-1 I guess would be an alright result. What a lovely guy he is, by the way. I need to point out, one of the nicest people that I've met doing this job. So a big thanks to Ižak for coming on and chatting. I'm not sure if he's actually going to the game tomorrow. I didn't ask him that. I get the impression he might be. But yeah, really, really good insight as well. I didn't realise that Zagreb are missing all of these players. It seems like they're missing like 5 or 6 players who would have started the game tomorrow night. So that's clearly good news for us. The fact they're struggling form-wise at the moment, no wins in 5, etc. Really good news for us. For me personally, hearing that the stadium is possibly not going to be full tomorrow night is good news as well. Because I had visions of it being an incredibly hostile atmosphere, a bit like maybe Dortmund was or Atalanta away. It seems like that might not be the case, but clearly it's still going to be a very challenging game for us. They're in a kind of similar position to us. They know that one more win will take them to the 10-point kind of line that should see qualifying for the top 24, and for ourselves and for Dinamo Zagreb that would be a pretty big achievement. And as I mentioned a few times recently and in that chat there, their last 2 games are pretty difficult. Arsenal away is clearly one that they probably won't get anything in, and AC Milan at home in their final game is tough as well. So they will be looking at this as their big opportunity. I think we view it as an opportunity as well. Yeah, I mean, that young boys game, we've always got that to fall back on, and I think that's a position, even if we were to lose tomorrow night, you would still have probably signed up for having 8 points and going into the young boys game at the start of the campaign. But clearly, because we're in this position now, it'd be quite nice to do it early and take the pressure off that kind of must-win game against young boys. So I'm feeling good about the game. I think it'll be tricky. They're clearly still going to have a lot of good players. Croatian internationals, they've won 2 games in this tournament so far, but it does seem like they're going through a bit of a difficult spot at the moment. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed a bit of insight. I hope you feel you know a little bit more about Dinamo Zagreb. As I say, it's an early kickoff tomorrow evening, but I am still going to put out a video tomorrow morning just covering the usual stuff on the match day. I don't know how many of you will be able to catch it between it going up at 7 a.m. and kick-off, which I think is at 5:45 for you lot. But I'm going to put that out and we'll get like the reaction to the press conferences, predicted 11s and loads of other wee bits tomorrow. So yeah, we've got that. And yeah, we'll build forward to a pretty big night tomorrow night, and hopefully, all going well, we can book our place in the top 24 by Tuesday evening. That'd be absolutely lovely. Okay, everyone, thanks for watching. Catch up with you tomorrow.